So, how important is a team? Timothy Jensen, Jensen Transport in Independence, Iowa. Team building is, I would say, in some organizations, not as important as others. I mean, if you're working in a factory on a line, all you're doing is doing the same thing every day. You don't have a lot of interaction with other people, managers, coworkers. You're not forced to work in a team. I don't think it's really that important. Maybe it's all right if people get along. That's always a good thing. But otherwise, team building in that aspect is probably not as important as you think. Is it important in trucking? I think it does make a difference when drivers are of maybe like work ethic or like attitude. I think that makes a big difference. Do they all need to be on the same page? In general, I would say yes. They all want to. It does help when you have at least a good core group of people that hold the same values, same work ethic, same level of quality, take pride in the job the same way, and put certain priorities ahead of other things. That helps. In terms of just running a business in general, if you're working with people every day, I would say team building is incredibly important. I would say it's more important higher up the hierarchy you are. So if you're a branch manager, or you work really closely with someone, say you're the number one in a position and you have a number two in the position, and the two of you have to coordinate and work closely so that people get a good outcome or a good result from your work. I do think that's pretty important to have good team building on that. And what really are we talking about when we do that? Are we talking about team building? I would say more than likely we're probably talking about consensus building, where we both look at a certain piece of information. We both have a pretty good idea of what we can do with it in terms of how many options there are available. Some are good, some are bad. It's not always, having the one right option, but you need to look at things in terms of a larger perspective. What happens if this occurs? What happens if that occurs? What happens down the line? If you have that ability to look at a situation and realize, say, 3 or 4 moves ahead, even 5, I think this is what's going to be the outcome. I think this is what's going to happen. So much more powerful. And especially when you can do at least some of those steps as a consensus. So someone looks at, oh, I know what we need to do next. Well, what do you think? Yeah, that's what I think too. Maybe you're not going in the right direction, but you have a pretty good idea that the decisions you're having or making are going to make a positive impact on that. Does it help in any other aspects? I think if you have a good team, good consensus building in terms of decision making, I think it is vision strengthening. What is vision strengthening? I don't know, I just made it up. But I see vision strengthening as something where the business or maybe the person you're working under has a pretty good idea of how to, say, increase quality in some area, maybe minimize something to make something more efficient, or even just a general outlook on the direction of the business, what you want to go after, where you want to spend your time and effort while you're at work, and not waste time on doing things that do not strengthen that vision. If you're interested in doing one thing, you don't want to dilute that time by doing a second thing that doesn't add value to the work. Does a bad team matter? Yes, a bad team matters. A bad team sucks energy. So when or how do you know you have a bad team? Honestly, a lot of it happens on hire. It really does. It doesn't take long to see a bad team. If you get a feeling even before you hire, you got to kind of go with your gut on some of that stuff. You can put a lot of stuff on paper, and I know from speaking from experience and looking at and working in different industries, we've got a couple businesses here, people do lie about their credentials. They lie about colleges they went to. They lie about a lot of things. It's even on LinkedIn. If you don't believe me, start doing a little research, doing a little digging. You'll find a lot of that. Bad teams suck energy. Is that good for the business? No. Is that good for your employees? No. Is that good for consensus building or vision strengthening? No. Is that good for any of that? Not really. How do you fix a bad team? A lot of times it's just one person. And on there, you need to get rid of them, honestly. That's the best way. They either need to figure out how to get on the bus and get with the team, which is a good conversation to have. They were not going to like it, or they need to move on. Good team, how do you know you're on a good team? Good team pushes you forward. A good team does a lot of things. Team looks at what you're doing and trying to accomplish and brings you ideas. So when I say brings you ideas, brings you ways in which you can make something better or do something faster, or even brings you ideas of, I think these people would be great on this team. Let's go hire them. That is a great team there too. So that's very possible. And also, does everyone on your team have to work for where you're at? The answer is no. I'm doing that today. I have people that work as consultants, come in and do a few hours a week. We sit down and talk about problems and things that I want to solve and the way to solve them. Just find some good people. They don't have to leave their current job or position to do that, to be on your team. Have them do a little consulting. Pay them however they want to do it, by project, hourly, or whatever. That's a great thing to do. So, team building, very important. I would look at that. If you have a bad team and you have people on there sucking energy, there's only one solution. If you can't get them on bus, there's only one solution. They got to go. Timothy Jensen, Jensen Transport, Independence, Iowa. Hey, hope everybody has a great day out there, and we'll talk to you soon.